Welcome back to the Deep Dive. So, you're here because you need to get smart and get smart fast on the Chiefs before this huge Week 11 game against the Denver Broncos.
Right.
We know you don't have time to sift through everything out there. You just need the key intel, the strategic stuff.
And that's exactly what we're doing. Our mission today is pretty targeted. We're taking the first official injury report of the week. This is from November 12th, 2025, and turning that dry list into, actual knowledge.
Instantly.
Who's in, who's out, and what does it really mean for the game plan at Empower Field?
Okay, let's unpack this. We're looking at the Wednesday practice report, which really does set the tone for the rest of the week. And I guess you always have to start with the biggest negative, right? That did not participate, guys.
You have to. And that leads us straight to the most definitive name on the list. Running back, Isaiah Pacheco.
DNP. Knee?
Yep. DNP with that knee injury. And look, seeing it officially listed like that, it just confirms how serious this is.
We sort of knew this was coming, though. Coach Andy Reid had already hinted that Pacheco wouldn't be practicing.
He did, but this makes it real. And when we look back at our source material, it's an MCL sprain. That's a classic week-to-week kind of thing.
Right.
So for your lead running back, seeing a DNP on a Wednesday, that's not just about missing a few reps. It changes the entire offensive game plan for the week.
It forces the backups into the spotlight. Immediately.
All that planning time, all those resources, they get deserted. You don't have the luxury of waiting to see if he can maybe play on Sunday. You have to plan like he's out.
Exactly. When your main guy, the engine of that running game, can't even get on the field in mid-November, that creates these massive ripple effects. The OC needs to know what he's working with by Friday at the latest.
And it also tells Denver exactly where to focus. Their defensive coaches, they're not watching Pacheco film this week. They're studying the backups.
Okay, so that's the clear negative. Let's move from that to the most intriguing piece of this report. The one thing our sources flagged as genuinely surprising.
Yeah, this one jumps out. We're shifting over to the defense here.
Defensive end George Karlaftis.
George Karlaftis, listed as a limited participant, an LP with a thumb injury. Now look, limited is way better than DNP.
Of course.
But the fact that the source material specifically called this out as the only surprising entry on the entire report, that means we have to dig in here.
So why is a thumb injury on a defensive end the big surprise? Can't you just tape that up and go, are we maybe, overthinking it?
That's the million-dollar question. And for a wide receiver, maybe. But for a DN, your hands are everything.
Right, for leverage.
It's all about violent hand placement, shedding blocks, power moves. A thumb injury, it really restricts your ability to grip, to punch, to control the offensive lineman. If he can't do that at full speed in practice...
then he's limited for a reason.
Exactly. And let's connect that to the bigger conversation we've been hearing. The sources have pointed to concerns about the Chiefs' inadequate pass rush.
So any limitation on a starter just makes that concern louder.
It really does. Any restriction on a starting edge rusher, even something that seems minor like a thumb, it just reinforces those bigger questions about getting pressure. The defense needs Karlaftis winning his one-on-ones. A limited practice on Wednesday tells you the coaches are already thinking about a plan B. It's not a disaster, but it's a definite red flag in an area where they're already a little vulnerable.
So we've got Pacheco out, which is a definite negative, and Karlaftis, a serious question mark. But let's get to the good news, because there was some genuinely great news in this report, especially for anyone who, cares about winning in the trenches.
Oh, absolutely. The full participants, the FP section, that's where the positive story is. This is where you want to see your key guys this late in the year.
Here's where it gets really interesting, particularly for the offense. Let's focus on the offensive linemen, who are listed as full participants. First, right tackle Jawan Taylor.
Yeah, with a knee and an ankle issue listed. Seeing him as a full participant is a huge win. We have to remember he hurt that ankle back in Week 9 against the Bills. And ankle injuries for these big guys, they can linger. They can kill your lateral movement.
Which is everything in pass pro.
Everything. So for him to be a full go this week, it suggests that injury is finally behind him. He's taking all the reps. That means real continuity for the right side of the line.
Continuity is the perfect word. Next up, guard Trey Smith, also a full participant. He's been dealing with a back issue, and his status has been, a little all over the place.
It has. He's been a bit of a revolving door on these reports, sometimes out, sometimes limited. And a back issue for an interior lineman is tough. That's their anchor.
That's their power.
It's all their power. So him being a full participant means he's not just playing through pain. He's practicing at full speed, getting those reps against what's going to be a tough Denver front. That stability inside is just foundational.
And then to round out that group, you have left tackle Josh Simmons. He was also a full participant after dealing with a personal matter. The fact that all three of these guys are full go on a Wednesday in Week 11, that feels pretty rare.
It speaks volumes. And you have to remember all the noise, all the debate around the team, especially that question of how should the Chiefs handle left tackle?
Right, that's been a season-long thing.
Exactly. And there were concerns about depth. Seeing both Taylor and Simmons as full participants, it signals the line isn't just getting healthy, it's building cohesion in practice. When you have full participation, you have full confidence in your protection schemes.
And that gives the coaches so much more flexibility. Okay, let's not forget the other full participants, because they kind of soften the blow of the Karlaftis situation on defense.
Precisely. We also saw defensive end Charles Omenihu, who is dealing with an ankle, and safety Jaden Hicks with a pectoral injury, both listed as FP.
And why is that so important this week specifically?
Well, Omenihu being 100% gives you critical depth on the D-line. Since we just talked about Karlaftis being limited, that means the coordinator has options. He can manage Karlaftis' snaps if he needs to, maybe use Omenihu more to mitigate that thumb issue.
Got it. It's a cushion.
It's a cushion. And Hicks being FP just confirms the secondary is healthy and stable. No need to shuffle guys around back there. So while you have one big question mark on defense, the overall structure is sound.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, let's quickly touch on the other side of the ball, the opponent.
Right. Well, according to our source, the Broncos' official report was TBD. It was still pending.
So we're working with asymmetric information.
Which is common this early in the week. The Chiefs know their own status, but they have to prepare for Denver's full-strength roster until they know otherwise.
So the Chiefs are kind of planning in a vacuum. But we can take what we know about the Chiefs and connect it directly to those big-picture AFC narratives that are floating around this game.
Yes. This is where the report becomes more than a list of names. The player health is the data that either proves or disproves a narrative. We talked about Karlaftis.
His thumb injury.
Right, his LP status. That ties directly into the whole conversation about the team's inadequate pass rush. If he's not at full speed, that concern becomes much more real.
And on the flip side, you have Taylor and Simmons being full participants, which speaks to that how do they handle left tackle debate. Their health basically solves a problem that was a huge topic earlier this year.
And that stability, it feeds into the biggest narrative of all. Can the Chiefs prevent a changing of the guard in the AFC? When you're in a crucial divisional game like this, the health of your foundational players, your guys in the trenches, that's what can decide things. The injury report isn't just about who plays, it's about who can practice at full speed. That dictates performance.
Absolutely. So if we zoom out, for you listening and needing that quick intelligence, here are the two critical things to take away.
First, Isaiah Pacheco. He's functionally out of practice. That DNP with his knee makes him a huge question mark for Sunday. The team is already planning to play without him.
And number two,
George Karlaftis. He's the main question on defense. That limited status with the thumb is the only real surprise on the report, and it hits right at the team's biggest area of concern, generating a pass rush.
but the major positive, the stabilizing force here, is the offensive line. Taylor, Smith, and Simmons are all full go. Their injuries seem to be under control. The protection plan is getting fully rehearsed this week.
And that actually leads right to the final thought we want to leave you with. If that offensive line with guys like Trey Smith and Juwan Taylor is truly healthy enough to be full participants, what does that actually allow the Chiefs' offense to do against this Denver Broncos defense?
A defense that our sources say is still in the conversation for the league's best in 2025.
Exactly. A fully healthy, cohesive offensive line is the one variable that could let the Chiefs really test that claim. If their strength up front lets them run the ball even without Pacheco, or if it gives their quarterback that extra half second in the pocket, that stability is what could settle the debate over Denver's defense this weekend. Health in the trenches decides these big games.
We've given you the intel and the connections. Now you know why these practice statuses might just matter more than any score prediction. Thanks for diving deep with us.